Hello, John. So here we go. I have your 6105 here. It is it's chunking along. It's let's look at the numbers. Hmm, it's a little it's a little funky, not majorly. So I mean, we've got a little bit of extra noise, and clearly the pallet fork's not 100% happy. But I've seen far more challenge watches than this. A little bit of beat error, and it's running low. That's really the big thing. But it's running. That's good. Okay. So, always good to start with the numbers so we have an idea of what we're looking at. The watch looks dusty to me. It's definitely had a lot of water inside. Um, you can see the discoloration and the water leaching out of the winding weight here. All this stuff here. So this is. Would you stop? So you see all this stuff right here. This is the moisture is starting to pull the metals out of this alloy or this weight. Your winding bridge looks like it's super loose. See all this brassing right here? That's from the weight slamming into it because it's not being held firmly in plane. That's not bad. I'm getting a little bit of movement on this screw for this lower mainspring upper port, but I'll have to see that. I think so far the biggest worry I'm seeing is the water intrusion. It just looks, the movement is hazy, it is dirty, it's not a happy movement. Huh. Look at that. Your winding bridge is not a 6105, it's a 6106. 6106B winding bridge. So there's no functional difference between a 6105 bridge and a 6106 bridge. They're exactly the same except for that little bit of printing. It just means that this watch has had some work done and this bridge died previously. So maybe, because this doesn't feel that loose to me, so maybe the old bridge really had died hardcore and that's when this happened. And then the watch got worked on and they put on a 6106B bridge, because you'll notice like there's still some shine to this plate, whereas this is all like hazy. I bet you that's a later replacement, but this has to go. That's not gonna, because this deterioration is gonna continue. Okay, let's talk cosmetics, because that's the other challenge. This watch had a fair amount of water in it, and not a ton, but it got reloomed, sort of reloomed. What they did, what they did. First, this handset is for a 6139 chronograph. So this is the incorrect handset. This hand is original, but the white part has been reloomed. The dial loom was bad. Instead of doing a full reloom where you take out and clean the dial out, they just blobbed loom on top of it. So the top of the frosted markers are actually pretty okay. There are a few places where they blobbed loom over the top of the markers. I don't know, I'll do what I can. But me personally, I would reloom this dial because the frosted tops of the markers are actually pretty decent. So if we can preserve those, then we clean this out and you stop having this sort of this black junk around the edge of the markers. And it would be an improvement. This, by the way, is an unusual dial finish variant. I don't see it very often. And it's instead of having where the black surface of the dial comes up over the corners, so the corners look slightly rounded. It's an unusual dial variant. I don't see it very often at all. It's extremely minor change. Most people wouldn't probably never notice it, but I did. It looks like somebody replaced the insert with a later thick 6309 one, because the 6309 inserts had two thicknesses, a thin one with a shim and a thick one that didn't need a shim. And because the thin one with the shim was the same one for the 6105, and it looks like they used a thicker one, and it stands proud of this edge and it got all ground off. So it's up to you whether you want to keep that. I don't really have a decent replacement, but we can talk about it. Heralding's replacements are actually pretty good. or we can leave it. It's just this is the thick 6309 insert, which is why it's standing proud of the ring. That we can also leave it. It's up to you. Service seals. Still hex. Oh, it feels a little loose. They always do. Crown locks. If it were my watch, service case rebuilt with all new seals, crown rebuilt with the new seal, correct hour and minute hands, relume everything to basically more closely match this original Seiko loom, which is here. And I don't know what I'd do with this insert. It bugs me that it's the thick one, but I don't know. It's up to you. We can also just leave it because it's original Seiko. I don't know. You tell me. I think we can do good things with this watch. Okay, thank you.